debunk. But in fact, as the Chairman said before, you know, we're entitled to our own beliefs or opinions, maybe, but not entitled to our own facts. And I think when you have experts from outside, you have industry officials, you have regulators, all understanding that speculation is about $27 on the barrel of oil, it's a serious matter. And this casino of future speculators is perhaps where I hope this hearing would have gone. And I sent a letter to the Chairman asking that he do that, and I hope he does get down to the real business of what's going to make a difference in prices at the pump. Now, looking at this drilling idea, from what I see in the United States Energy Information Administration, they say that if we were to permit the outer continental shelf of the Atlantic and Pacific coast and the eastern central regions of the Gulf of Mexico, the resulting difference in gas price at the pump would be about 3 cents by 2030. You know, I've watched prices go up and down about 10 cents of late on that, so 3 cents by the year 2030 seems pretty tiny. Mr. Hayes, do you concur with that finding?
Yes, Congressman, and it is due to the simple fact that the United States production cannot affect the global oil price in a meaningful way.
Well, I think, you know, those experts have said you're absolutely right. There's a glut on currently on oil. I think the CEO of ExxonMobil stated as recently as last month that there's no shortage of supply in the market. And so I guess increased drilling really wouldn't lower the prices of oil and gas. Is that correct?
That's correct. I will say, though, that it is our policy to increase domestic oil and gas production responsibly, because it is better to have a barrel produced here in the U.S. than to import it.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Interior Secretary Salazar just testified in front of the Senate that about 70% of the tens of millions of offshore acres currently leased to oil companies are inactive. That includes about 24 million inactive leased acres in the Gulf of Mexico, where I guess there's an estimated 11.6 billion barrels of oil and 59.2 trillion cubic feet of natural gas that are technically recoverable, and they're going unused. Why is the industry just sitting on those leases, Mr. Secretary?
It's not clear. The President has indicated an interest in encouraging companies to utilize those leases, and that was the subject of his radio address a week ago Saturday.
Well, you know, the Secretary also testified about onshore things. That 57% of the leased acres, that's about 22 million acres in total, are not being explored nor developed. So what can the President do, what can the Department do to encourage these companies to start using what they have?
One of the recommendations that the Administration has made is to change the lease term of the Mineral Leasing Act of 1920. Now, onshore, every lease is leased for a full 10 years. It does not take 10 years to make a decision of whether to invest or not. We would prefer to have that lease term reduced, and thus, if a company decides not to invest, have the leases returned so another company that might be more willing to invest will do so.
You know, I look at this even more, and the Interior Department has a report on oil and gas utilization. So they say about 53 million acres were offered for sale in 2009 under this administration, 53 million acres. 37 million acres, I'm sorry. 2.4 million acres were bid on and sold. It's about 5%. In the Central Gulf, 37 million acres were offered in 2010. Again, in this administration, 37 million acres, 2.4 million acres were bid on and sold. That's about 6.5%. Can you explain why these companies aren't bidding on those leases, and that we have to listen to drill, baby, drill, and this administration won't this and won't that, in terms of take 5% in one instance, 6.5% in the other? What's the explanation for that?
I can't explain why companies are not bidding. I think our primary point, Congressman, is that our administration is providing the opportunity, a robust opportunity for domestic oil and gas production, and I think those numbers make that point.
Yeah. Well, according to the EIA Administrator, there are already open to Federal and gas leasing about 95% of the technically recoverable oil and gas on the outer continental shelf. Is that right?
I'm not familiar with the exact report, but I assume so.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm having some difficulty understanding why the oil and gas industry believes they don't have enough of the taxpayers' land to work on already, given those numbers. Let me ask you this. What more can we do about speculation? That seems to be the real problem, and the one that I hope this Chairman will have a hearing on. If it's $27 to $30 of every barrel, what can we do, and what ought we be doing about really focusing on the real problem?
Well, Congressman, as you know, the President has indicated a strong interest in addressing this issue and has asked the Attorney General to set up a special strike force to investigate potential speculation, and I know that that group is underway.
All right. Thank you.